everybody. Thanks for visiting. This is Dan Lacindro on the left of your screen. Dan Lacindro.
Hello. And to my left would be Lou White. How are you, Lou?
I'm fine, thank you. Everything's fine. We had a big traffic accident. Everybody's probably heard about that. We totaled our car, but let's not make that about us. What would you like to talk about today, Dan?
Well, I just was thinking about some of the ideas that some of these teachers, I'm not going to mention any denominational names, but it seems like they have like a selected doctrine they want to promote, and it's like there's nothing else that they really want to talk about except that doctrine. And I don't know how good that is for people to really hear, but it seems like the sort of brainwashing to me. What do you think, Lou? Is it?
Yeah, usually you've gone off the rails when you only have one doctrine and you have to keep defending it over and over, and you're not using the word of Yahuah, because the word of Yahuah is supposed to be our foundation.
Well, absolutely, and that's what I think too. One of the doctrines that I've been hearing a lot about is this. It's called the National Sunday Law Enforcement, and I'm not really seeing that in Scripture per se, like in Revelation. I know that they deny mostly the world denies the Sabbath day, the seventh-day Sabbath, but to say and promote that there's going to be this Sunday law that people are going to have to worship on Sunday, otherwise face death or the ability or the lack of the ability to buy or sell on this day.
That's the riddle.
Yeah, and I'm not hearing any real explanation of that being promoted.
They don't know that it's a riddle. Where is that? Is that Revelation 13 or is it Revelation 18? It's actually all through there, but it's talking about the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is indeterminable without wisdom, and wisdom is defined as the Torah of Moshe, Malachi 4, Proverbs 3. It's all over the place, especially Proverbs 8. They're defining wisdom as being the knowledge of what Yahuah wants you to practice and live, his 10 commandments.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know what they're supposed to do. So they see these cues and they say, "Oh, the beast is keeping them from buying and selling." It doesn't actually say that. It says that if you have the mark of the beast, that you're able to buy and sell. But if you don't have the mark of the beast, then you cannot buy and sell. But it's only really because of the Torah. The Torah prohibits the buying and selling on one day a week.
Right, but see, that's not what they're saying. They're saying that you won't be able to buy or sell anytime if you don't have the mark of the beast. And I just cannot see where that's scripturally found. It's not saying that to me from what I'm reading.
Yes, that's right. And if you had 3 doors to choose a method of death by, and the first door was, let's say, hanging from a rope, and the second door was to be eaten by lions that had not been fed for years, or the third door, guillotine. Well, which one would you choose? There's a riddle here. The riddle is exposed because the lions that haven't eaten for years are not alive. They're still there, but they're not alive. So you see there's missing components. That's what a riddle does. It hides all the certain pieces of information that are critical to solving the problem. And when people understand that the riddle of the mark of the beast that's written in Revelation is just simply knowing wisdom. You can't calculate what it is if you don't have wisdom. And they don't have wisdom because they don't teach it.
Right. That's what I'm seeing there too. So how do we lead these people to get wisdom?
Well,
what would be a way to entice them?
I think that we should tell them that they've been misled by their teachers, because that's what Scripture says. Now, if you turned aside to myths, it's because your teachers did it to you. And there's two critical passages, and one is the cause is the many teachers that have gathered together by the people to listen to what their itching ears want them to teach them, and that would be in 2 Timothy chapter 4, and then the effect is Malachi 4, and it's the remember the Torah of Moshe my servant, the laws and right rulings that I taught, and if you don't obey them, that's the message of Yahuah. This is the last day's message.
Well, right, and that seems to be, what's most pertinent for these days, because we are living in the last days. And what we're hearing is from these folks also, though, is, Revelation 14, the three angels' messages. That is the most important message that they can give. That's what they're teaching. And nothing else is to consume or preoccupy their time except Revelation 14. There's no mention of Malachi 4 that's ever brought up. And I just think that that's really misleading people. It's giving them tunnel vision, basically, where they're not seeing the whole scope of what's coming because of these teachings.
That's correct. We need to prompt people to understand what the truth is first. You don't criticize the people, but the teachings have to be confronted with Scripture. And if you don't use Scripture, see, that's what they've done. They've disarmed us from our weaponry. The weapons of love are the Ten Commandments. They train us how to love Yahuah and love your neighbor. And if the dragon successfully disarms us, and we don't have the word sown in our hearts and live by, then they have effectively made us indefensible. And Yahushua he's not with people that don't obey him and listen to his word. If you turn away from receiving a knowledge of the truth, that basically is the key to this whole problem, then you're going to listen to the teachings of others, and that means that we're back in the garden and we're listening to the liar. The liar is the same. He's telling the same lie. Don't trust in the word of Yahuah. You won't die. Just believe. If you just believe.
Yeah,
believe
absolutely. That's what it's leading to.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. So we have to believe his word is what it is, and it does not change because his character is always going to be reflected. And I had handed one of these little stickers to this gentleman that was, in a store, and he looked at it and he said, I've got to look at this. These are two scriptures here. I see. I've got to investigate this. And when a person sees that, they're going to say, well, the word of Yahuah has to be used. If you teach the doctrines of men, like this is what we believe, let's make a big list of 100 things, that's nonsense. You don't need that. You need the law, the Torah, the instructions in how to live. That's why what is legalism? Isn't that a good thing? Illegalism would be evil,
Right. You would much rather be legal in the eyes of our Creator, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would. But in the eyes of men, the dragon is enraged at those who obey the commandments of Elohim and hold to the testimony of Yahushua. They do two things. They're not just believing in the words of men. That isn't mentioned, But
well, wouldn't simple logic dictate that if you are doing something that's going to enrage the enemy, that you're not, that you're doing something that is right? Even the commandments is enraging the dragon, which is our enemy.
Yes.
So what's the big fuss over that? See, we don't care about enraging the dragon. We want to do what's right in our Creator's eyes.
Yeah, he's the one you have to fear. Don't fear the one that
right.
can destroy your body, but fear the one that can destroy both your body and your nefesh, your being, in the lake of fire. So you have to make sure that you're not offending the one that we serve. You don't want to serve the one that, Paul mentioned that, do you not know that you're the servant of the one you obey?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And I don't think people really think about that too much.
Yeah.
They go through the motions and are not realizing that they're obeying the wrong entity.
Right. I think we made that point pretty clear. So we're going to, I guess, wrap it up. Do you have any other final comments?
Basically, Lou, and I know that you're on the same page as me with this, you really hate to see people persecuted for no reason, especially if they bring something on themselves for not knowing. And it's always been my job to try to bring things to light for people, to help them avoid that and help them get on the right path. Right. And I know that's what you're after also. It's Yahuah working through us.
Yes.
And I just want to be a vessel that he can use.
Right. And the fruit of the tree is right in front of you if you're seeing kindness and love and you're presenting it to him because you look like you're concerned. You're not judging anybody. We're just trying to help them comprehend, because there's so much. The weeds have choked out the wheat, and we just need to get those doctrines straightened out and not control the doctrines, because they're written down for everybody, you know. But anyway, everybody, thank you for spending a few minutes with us, and we'll see you all in the next video. Be sure to like and to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you hit that little bell that's on the screen there, you can be alerted to our next post. Thank you. Bye-bye.